Dr. Tammy joins
Yes.
us once again to provide some health tips to navigate what can be a confusing wellness scene. Thanks to Dr. Tammy's Healing Arts Centers for sponsoring these segments. Great to see you, Tammy. Thanks for being here. So today we're talking about fertility. Yeah, fill us in. What do we need to know?
Yeah, how funny, we were just talking about baby pandas.
Yeah, babies.
Yes.
Babies were babies.
We planned that so well.
Yeah, that's perfect. We'll lead it. I love that. Yeah, being menopausal and the hormone girl, hormone queen, I like to say, it doesn't come up a whole lot. But because it is sort of the lead-in that we struggle through the later years, I always say take care of yourself in the healthier years, right? It's kind of like I just saw somebody that was talking about exercise, and they're in their 50s, and he's like very high-end business, and it's like they ask him how much he exercises, and not that much, because we think you have to kill it at the gym, right? But if you take care of yourself, it's so much less work on the back end,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And so taking care of yourself with your hormones when you're younger is super important too. And so I deal with a lot of younger people who have PCOS or have hormone issues, and so that can really set the stage for fertility issues too.
Right.
And the stats on that, at my age, I'm not really thinking about that a lot, and the people who kind of migrate towards me, but their daughters, their, relatives, their friends, they're all, struggling. And in vitro has become huge because we have hormones, and, we have all these issues in our food and all these things that people are struggling with. And it's sort of just this quiet thing that we just deal with, right? And because of my hormone issues, that makes me positioned to really understand this and speak to and help, because I had PCOS. I struggled with fertility issues for 13 years. Finally got my son. He's 20. He's going off to college. It's amazing. But that's a happy ending story.
Right.
And the problem is a lot of people result to, and they say if failed attempts are after 3 times of, thinking that you're having regular ovulation 3 months in. And so about 10% of couples deal with this. So this is just a quiet pain that people go through.
Yeah.
And then there's miscarriages because you have hormone issues and you're struggling. And so that's devastating. I went through that too, and I'm not trying to, really talk about me. This is about you and, our viewers. But it's a big thing. And then we're struggling, and it affects all of our family life. And like I said, about 10% of people struggle with fertility. They're just quietly suffering. And only about, sometimes up to 10% are successful with in vitro. And it's a big process. It's dangerous chemicals and hormones. And, and we got to think about the life of the mom and the baby after.
Sure, yeah.
So if you have a genetic issue, or if you have a hormone issue, or if you have a nutrition issue, those things follow through, and healthy eggs mean healthy babies too. So I'm really passionate about that piece. It's not a thing that I do a lot with, but my success rate is phenomenal. And even though it's not a big part of my practice, it's, I don't want to quote numbers, but almost 90% successful.
It's an important part of your
Very
practice.
important. And you're taking care of the mom, right? And then you're setting up that stage for issues later. So it's a simple thing, and most women get pregnant within 3 months of doing my protocol, which is basically we do some genetic profiling, we make supplement recommendations, we address the hormone issues and fix those with natural hormones, and then nutrition, and overall just environment changes and getting rid of the toxins and really addressing the right kinds of supplements. Because you could actually be taking the wrong kinds. That could make it worse.
Right. So I'm curious. So tell me about your 3-pronged approach to this.
Yeah, so like I say, it's genetics. We do genetic profiling. So we look for specific things that can interfere not only with pregnancy, but can cause miscarriages, right? The vascularity of the uterus and the health of the eggs. And then we also look at nutrition, which supplements kind of pour into that as well. And then that 3-pronged approach, there's actually a 4th, which we put on the guys. So we're actually seeing lower testosterone because the hormones in the environment. So we also have to address the males. We have to look at what they're doing and what their environment and their food looks like. And it is nuts. I am seeing so many men in their younger 20s and 30s with low testosterone. And the actual wrong thing, which a lot of people wouldn't believe this, is for young males to take testosterone therapy. Now, that's not something that I say a lot, because I have probably 10% of my practice is males with testosterone therapy. But if we start that before the 30s or 40s, and then we're setting up some real serious fertility issues.
That's why we need to reach out to the pros there. Thanks for joining us as always, and thanks to Dr. Tammy's Healing Arts Centers for sponsoring this segment.